evening. I'm Stacey Amos for News Channel 8, and these are the top stories that we have for you tonight. Election reformers are upset, and we'll tell you why. We take you inside the blood lab for our Part 2 series of Inside Juan Louis, and the First Lady is on St. Croix for a special occasion. Those stories and more are up next for you on News Channel 8. Our top story tonight, election reformers got no results today. Why? Because the executive director was out to lunch. News Channel 8's Wes Small has the story.
Thank you, Stacy. We're at the Board of Elections here, and I'm here with Mr. Joseph. I'm not going to try to say a peep of, that's why I'm not going to try to say it. And Miss Colleen Clark, and this lovely lady is?
Phyllis Nielsen.
Miss Nielsen. Excellent. Well, it's another round of heavyweight boxing between, Miss Davila, Rupert Ross, John Abramson, certain board members that these folks here from the Citizens Action Committee, they'll tell you exactly which one, where we have election recall and reform, and we're going to let you know where we stand with that. Well, Mr. Joseph, you're standing right next to me, and then Miss Clark can give her update. Why are y'all here, first of all, and why is the media here today?
Today is 15 days after we've submitted the petitions, so we came to ask Mr. Abramson what is the result of the verification of the signatures that we submitted.
And what did Mr. Abramson tell you?
His secretary said that he's out to lunch. She doesn't know when he left and when he's supposed to be back.
He's out to lunch, and the staff doesn't know when
he left and when he's supposed to be back.
You find that humorous, do you?
Well, that's what they told us. That's what we have to accept.
How many signatures? We never did get a final count.
No, that's because we never gave a final count.
So you know the number?
Of course, we know the numbers.
But you won't tell the public tonight?
Well, remember we have a pending case going on.
Oh.
Why would we jeopardize that?
I'd like to discuss that too. Looks like I've tried to talk to McShane and Nisman, so forth. That is the counter suit, I guess. That's the attorneys that will represent.
Well, I was referring to our case in district court.
Oh, right. Well, you have that going on. Oh, and so it's kind of closed. You can't discuss how many recall things you have yet,
Well,
how many names.
That's why we're here. We were hoping to get their numbers.
Are you aware of the lawsuit against you it's in today's paper with Attorney Nisman and McShane? Would y'all like to speak to that, where they feel that some of your recall procedures were inappropriate, being that people were down on their luck, like at Juan Louis, or perhaps on the picket lines with the teachers and the nurses, and lo and behold, there were recall petitions there taking, on their sympathies. And there were some people that actually came back here to the Board of Election. Are you aware of that on your petition to take their name off of their petition?
Based on the press release, that's what I heard. I don't know anything about that, but all I'm going to say about that is the record speaks for itself. The record speaks for itself. And we stand ground on the petition that we filed.
And you can't give us a ballpark number of how many signatures you have?
We've met the numbers.
Looks like this is going to have to play itself out. And News Channel 8, as usual, is all over this one. At Sunny Isle, Stacy, back to you. I'm Wes Small for News Channel 8.
In other news, it's part 2 of our exclusive look into Juan Louis Hospital. And tonight, we address the rumors about whether there's poisoned blood at the hospital. News Channel 8's Wes Small continues with this exclusive story.
I'm here now with Dr. James Kaysen. He is head of the blood lab here. And here is, they tried to get me in here. They see Doc said I'm a walking 7 units. This is the blood donor place, a very vital place here at Juan Louis Hospital. First of all, before we get into rumors and melee about blood contamination, how is the blood bank doing at Juan Louis Hospital? I know it gets dangerously low, and we have to go on drives. We get Hovenza involved and so forth. How is your blood bank doing for, up and down?
I think we're pretty much on a par with any other blood bank anywhere else in the United States. Every blood bank in the world has its problems. At critical times, we need large volumes of blood. At other times, things are quiet. We don't use quite as much blood, so we have to keep an average inventory, and we try to keep and manage to. At least in my 10 years of being here, we've been able to keep an adequate supply of blood for the needs of all of the hospital patients.
All right. Well, we were just in some areas there, and I know this is a privilege for the media to be in here. Now, I understand that you are watched, like watchdogs watch you guys, like the Food and Drug Administration. Is that right? The FDA watches you guys for blood?
They watch everything we do. There are so many regulations, it would take longer than the rest of this day for me to tell you how many regulations.
About how they refrigerated and how long they kept and the different types. But it's on the up and up. You have enough staff in there, and everything's good for your supply right now.
We have enough staff. Our supply is adequate. We are accredited by every accrediting agency that comes by here. Have not had a problem, and don't anticipate any problems. We're fine.
What's the other organization other than the FDA? The
CMS, the Joint Commission comes in for accreditation of hospitals and laboratories. Come in. OSHA comes in.
This is some serious stuff.
Serious stuff. Everybody comes in here,
and it's under lock and key. No one could just come in there. And you know what we're getting to? That maybe somebody's upset because of the layoffs, and maybe they went in there and poisoned the entire blood supply. I'm going to get right to it.
Not possible. Not possible. We're under lock and key whenever we need to be.
And so you've been here throughout this whole thing with the 85 nurses being laid off, and to your knowledge, there has not been one case of blood contamination at Juan Louis Hospital, to your knowledge, from this lab anyway.
I've been here for 10 years, and I've been the medical director of the blood bank for 10 years, and we have not had a contaminated unit of blood come or go from this blood bank.
And it was after our exclusive story last night that a nurse told us that she spent 18 hours working her shift. There are still problems at Juan Louis, and we're going to do our best to get to the bottom of it. Now, don't miss tomorrow night, where Wes Small talks openly and frankly with CEO Jeff Nelson about the racial undertones that were stated at the protest. Don't miss it. And please be sure to let us know what you think about this series. Hit us up on Facebook. We are really interested in knowing that. Now, also, First Lady Cecile DeYoung celebrated a special grand opening for some little ones. News Channel 8's Wes Small was at the event earlier today.
Wow, Stacy, it's an honor to have the First Lady. I normally don't get this pleasure of talking to Miss Cecile DeYoung, and I know I'm not going to keep you because you're going to cut the ribbon. Early Head Start. And this is something close to your heart, ma'am. I know you love our children in our territory. What does this mean? Because this is only two. We have one in Queen Louise area and one here and around Glen. What does this mean to you in the community?
Well, I think what it means is that we really start to focus on 0 to 2 or 3. You know, before we talked about Head Start, you're really talking about 3-year-olds.
Yes.
And really, I think it's important for us to understand that education really starts even prenatal, and that we educate the parents even before they become parents, but also from the very beginning that children are born, that it's important to start educating them. And I think that through programs like this and actually having a physical place for them to go, it will be really important for our teachers here to impart on parents the importance of talking to children, not only just reading to them, but just talking to them, and knowing that their vocabulary really expands the more that you talk to them.
It's like they get a heads up for what's to happen in society in the future.
Exactly, and it doesn't matter what you talk to them about, but as long as they learn words, it's important, and it will make a difference in their literacy, and that's something that's very important to us here in the Virgin Islands.
Now we have Commissioner Chris Finch. And Commissioner, thank you very much, Department of Human Services, and Early Head Start, just like I was with Cecile DeYoung, the First Lady, what this means to our territory, sir. And it's interesting. Now Concordia West And Concordia East is the two
Right,
early
right.
Head Starts.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Right. I mean, this represents really a almost tripling of the number of children that can be served through the Early Head Start program, which serves children from birth up through age 3, low-income children. And it was an expansion that started in 1995 under President Clinton of the Head Start program, which started 30 years earlier under President Johnson, all designed really to make sure that children from low-income families can start school ready to learn and to eliminate the gaps that people were seeing in their ability to succeed in school. So this is really important. It brings from a total of 48 clients that are receiving early Head Start up to 120, counting children and pregnant women that'll be served through the Lutheran Social Services program. So it's a happy day.
It's just a win-win situation. So that's good news. Concordia East and Concordia West, both of the early Head Starts. I'm Wes Small for News Channel 8.
And we'd like to thank both the First Lady and Commissioner Finch for their time today. Now, 3 police officers have been charged with murder in Trinidad. That's coming up next in your Caribbean Report. 7 years after a man was killed in Trinidad, police have now been charged with his murder, and someone added some drama during the Pope's historic visit to Cuba. Those stories and more are in your Caribbean Report. A U.S.-based public company, GoIP, a leading provider and developer of diversified communications and services, has signed a strategic letter of intent to acquire all of 21st Century Enterprises Limited that has wholly owned subsidiaries holding mobile telecom and high-speed broadband licenses in St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Ike Sutton, CEO of GoIP Global, commented, "As an emerging leading provider of communications, the need for more bandwidth continues to grow dramatically in the islands due to the rapid development of 3G, 4G data network by cellular service providers and the increasing demand of multimedia devices requiring that data usage. We are strategically expanding 21st Century's WiMAX division in the islands by strengthening our network capabilities to provide our customers with a reliable, high-quality network." And Adrian Watson, the CFO of 21st Century Enterprises, said the strategic alliance with GoIP and its infrastructure will enable us to grow operations in the Caribbean. From Trinidad, 7 years after a Port of Spain man was shot dead, a coroner's inquest into his death ended Monday at the Port of Spain Magistrates Court, with the coroner ordering that arrest warrants be issued for 3 police officers and that they be charged with murder. When the inquest, which saw a total of 40 witnesses testifying, ended, Interagency Task Force officers Sergeant Terrence Roy and Constables Kiro Baldwin and Danny Bentic walked out of the courthouse despite the coroner's earlier giving instructions that the warrant be issued for the 3 to be charged for the murder of Nazim Christian. Christian was shot dead on May 4, 2005, along Basilon Street in Port of Spain. Initial police reports had indicated that Christian originally shot at a group of officers and was killed when the officers returned fire. However, residents have always claimed that Christian had been unarmed and was surrounded by a group of police officers when he was shot and killed. From Cuba, a man began shouting, "Down with the revolution," and had to be restrained as Pope Benedict entered Santiago's main square to celebrate Mass. It was not clear who the man was or what happened to him, and the Cuban government has not yet commented on the incident. However, the Pope went on to celebrate at an open-air Mass at Revolution Square, where he called for reconciliation in Cuba. From Barbados. Barbados says it's on its way to becoming the greenest country in the Latin American and Caribbean region. Prime Minister Frondal Stewart stated all stakeholders, including farmers, businessmen, students, hoteliers, and homemakers, need to appreciate the extent to which a green economy can contribute to their quality of life. And your cricket update. The board of directors of the West Indies Players Association announced the resignation of Dinath Ramnarine as the group's president and CEO on Monday, which is effective March 31st. Mr. Ramnarine shared last year that 2012 would be his last year with the organization, said Board Secretary Andrew Richardson. He has now completed a perfect decade. We wish to recognize that he has served meticulously over those 10 years. A native of Trinidad, Ramnarine retired from cricket in 2002. And Jamaica made it 6 wins out of 6 by completing a clinical victory over combined campuses and colleges in Bridgetown, Barbados. Be sure to visit us on Facebook to stay connected to updates and full stories of the Caribbean Report. The governor recently celebrated with Botanical Gardens for a special anniversary.
We celebrate the significant accomplishment of the St. George Village Botanical Garden in not only caring for the remarkable 16.5 acres of beautiful gardens and rich history. This property is listed twice in the National Registry of Historic Places. The first listing comes from the early Amerindian site that we overlap. This property was first occupied about 100 AD and occupied up to about 900 AD. The second listing in the National Registry comes from the Danish Colonial Historic District, when this property operated as a sugarcane plantation.
When you consider the richness of this area each and every day, with the children that come here, with the tourists that visit, for the political events, the business events, and even for some of us who were here several weeks ago for a memorial, it really lets you know how much a part of our history, our present, and of our future this organization is, and this building and these grounds are each and every day.
Virgin Islander and author Kishma Allen has a new book. It's Your Vision, and she's with News Channel 8's Wes Small.
Thank you, Stacy. All right, still wearing the Red Cross shirt. Don't forget you can get your nonprofit or your business, and we will support yours every Friday, right? Just stay tuned with Stacy. She'll teach you how to do it. Wow, I'm so proud of you, Miss Kishma N. Allen. And we have been talking for some time. It's your vision. Can you make it happen? Hi, pretty lady. How you doing?
Hi, I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. And I'm proud of you. This is your first book, right?
This is my first book. The title is It's Your Vision. Can you make it happen?
Yes, I can.
Yes, you can.
I'm making it happen. Well, first of all, what is it about?
It's a motivational, inspirational book to help us with our dreams, our visions, and talents. Because many of us in a Virgin have a lot of talents within us, and we are not even aware of it. And even if we are, we let society tell us, you know, it's too late. Who are you? How are you going to do this? Where are you going to get the money? We let all kind of external influence keep us down. So this book helps you to step-by-step guide to overcome all those barriers, whether internal or external, and get up and go make it happen.
Man, I'm so lucky. Where's my pen? I know you're going to sign this bad boy. This is just perfect for me because, you know what, Kishma, a lot of times I say, Wes, who are you kidding? A book, a play, a movie. Not you. You can't do it. I'm my worst enemy.
That's the truth.
I'm a hater and naysayer.
That's the truth.
So can I get help? What chapter is that?
The whole thing, and it's not just for adults, it's from teens to adult, from preteens to adult. And what I like most about it, it's easy read, and the feedback that I've got has been phenomenal. I got reviews on here from Dr. David Hall, the president of UVI, Senator Sean, Michael Malone, Dilsa Captiville from Kidscope, and a host of others. So see what they have to say about the book. And also, it's not only going on here, it's also going on stateside. I went to Chicago with my book, sold it to a Latino guy, and his wife started workshops with the Latino community in Chicago. So it's just not to help us here on the local Virgin Islands level, but as long as you have a talent, as long as you have a desire, as long as you have a goal, a dream, a purpose, something to hold on to, then you need to get this book. It'll give you the inspiration you need to get up and make it happen.
So where can we get your book?
Right
Where
now,
are you signing autographs?
I will be right here in Barron Spot. That's right, Barron Spot. So we're supporting the Barron Spot community next weekend. I'll be over here next week Saturday by the C&C Bakery.
No, not my favorite bakery in the Virgin Islands. No, not the one that's making me go into another shirt size. Oh, no.
And I also bake tarts. So come on by to C&C Bakery next week Saturday over here in Barron Spot. Not Sunny Isles, Barron Spot. We're making things happen over here in Barron Spot next weekend. But it's also available online at Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, BooksAMillion.com.
Please get this book. It's Your Vision.
Can you make it happen?
I'm Wes Small. Stacy, back to you, sweetheart, in the studio for News Channel 8.
Did you notice Wes was wearing a Red Cross t-shirt? News Channel 8's new TGIF sponsor opportunity is available for Friday broadcasts. Please be sure to call our business office to find out more about this new and great way to showcase your business or cause. Now it's your Sports 411 when we come back. Stephen Koo Francis adds something new to the Sports 411 segment.
Thanks a lot, Stacy. Tonight we bring you a new feature in our Sports 411 update. It's called What It Takes to Be a Pro, starring VA basketball legend Kevin Shepard, as he gives us on and off the court tips. Let's check it out.
Kevin Shepard, local Virgin Islander. played high school basketball at the Educational Complex, the Men's Summer League at the early age of 15. He then went on to Jacksonville University, a Division I college. He was the youngest captain of the USVI national team. He played professional basketball overseas for 8 different countries. This year, he decided to hang up his sneakers and focus on the youths to teach them and show them how to be fundamentally sound. Follow him here on Channel 8 as he shows us what it takes to be a pro.
I'm here today in Central High School Gym, beautiful St. Croix. I'm with my original coach, Coach Bao, and I got one of my protege. We're going to show you some drills to get your game better. You can practice these drills all throughout the summer. Remember what we said, we're going to do it in the gym here in Central High. We're going to also go to Beeston Hill where we can show you some tricks to stay in shape, help you out in the gym. So we thank Beeston Hill for that. And we're definitely going to highlight you and highlight everything about basketball, everything about nutrition, everything about weightlifting. We're going to take it to the next level.
I'm Coach Bao, as you already know, and again, today's tip is about ball handling. We're going to show some crossovers, jump stop, hesitation, and all the various type of dribbling moves that you do at a basic level and also at a high level.
The first few tips of the day is how we warm up here at Choices Basketball. And we basically do dribble crossover, 2 dribbles to the left, 2 dribbles to the right, crossover between your legs, around the back, spin, in and out, and then bounce back. And then finally, we do combinations. After the combinations, then we put it into the real game situation where we run from half court, catch the ball from Coach Bao, and then we're going to put it in the real game. Look for the bounce back, because a lot of us here in the Virgin Islands, we don't bounce back. So that's a big tip for today. All right, so catch us.
Simple around your back. Simple around your back. Another great move for pressure D. Go to relieve pressure. Go right up in the gut of the D and spin up. Working the in and out cross. Set it up. In and out. Cross. In and out. A reverse speed to relieve pressure. Depends on you. Relieve pressure. Change the direction. Relieve pressure. Change the direction. Again, relieve pressure and change the direction. Very seldomly used, but a very effective move to relieve pressure. Basically, it's a step back and then we cross. So we set the defender up, basically, but under control. Set him up, boom, pull in, and cross. Head fake, this is one of our best moves. Oftentimes, you don't use that head fake, make the defender think you're going to shoot, and when he or she closes out, you go by.
Folks, now let me check out some of those moves in game time situation.
And there you have it, some of our ball handling drills that we do. Like I said, some. We have a lot of different ball handling drills that are effective and that we think when you implement it correctly will help raise your game at a very high level. Again, some of these moves are from high school up, but we do incorporate at the lower level also. And Mr. Shepard here, am I right, he's an excellent coach in bringing through all these wonderful ball handling drills that you just saw.
Join us next week as Kevin, he takes us to the Beeston Hill Gym where he gives us some tips and weightlifting, man. That's a look at Sports 411 Update. I'm Stephen Cook Francis for News Channel 8. Back to you, Stacy.